do this. Arms up, point your fingers at the ceiling, and circle. And every time you circle, it's going to get bigger. Bigger, funny. There's a funny story about this stretch, but since this is going to be broadcast to school students, I'm not going to tell it. Every time you stretch, it gets bigger and bigger. By the way, this time it's going to get smaller and smaller. I don't know if we were doing these stretches last time you were in class. Alright, take hands from here. Big circle. Like you're drawing circles with your elbows. Now this is very similar. It sort of stretches and loosens up the same muscle groups we just did. But I'm old and have bad, well not bad, but have old shoulders. So we want to make sure they're good moving. Another way. Good. Down. Still here in the center. Still here in the other side. Used to when I did this, it didn't crack or pop or anything. Now it totally does. Straight. Now, look over your left shoulder. Try to push your chin all the way. Put someone has fingers on your chin and trying to push it, so you're keeping your shoulder in the same spot. Look the other way. Stretch those neck muscles. Head forward. Put your feet together. Hands on your hips. My favorite stretch. Hula stretch. Try to keep your head in one spot. Don't be a bobblehead.
My back really needed this.
It
doesn't, that's why it hurts.
If you've been driving for a long time, this is a must-know stretch, in my opinion. Or you've been sitting at a desk a long time, just anything like that, loosen up the core. Okay, good. Now, one foot stays flat, the foot comes up on the toes, circle the ankle. And the way I do stretches, usually the way I think of it, just for ease of memory, is start at the top, work my way down. And pretty much this is the same stretching pattern I've been doing for 15, 16 years now, something like that. By the way. Push feet. And then normally after this set, normally I would sit on the ground, you would do some ground stretches. We're not going to do that tonight. By the way. Stop. Oh, I forgot one. Shin big. Big circle. If you ever take an Aikido class, we'll do the back and forth, but I prefer the circle. It's more in range. All right. Cool. Check it out. All right, so it's a little bit wet, so be careful on this one. We're going to do one called a dynamic stretch. So whatever direction you want to, we're not going to hurt anybody or kick anybody or fall down. Find your good spot. And I'm going to turn this way for the camera view. So put my right foot out. Hands up for training sake. Nobody kick the camera. Take your back foot, keep it straight. Do not bend the knees, keep the leg locked. It's going to come up and then down. And every time we count, we're going to get bigger. Jump off.
I'm not in that bad shape.
Ready? 1, 2, a little bit higher each time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Like to go that high.
Go as high as you can go. Don't worry about how high I can go, or Angel can go, or Chris can go. Those two have been doing yoga for years. All right, so ready? Go over here. So start low, a little bit higher each time. You can put just a half inch higher, that's fine. So 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing. So this time I'll be standing here and I'm going to go to the side. So ideally it'd be almost like a side kick. Your leg will be out, feet pointed that way. So like that. Okay? A little bit. If you can only go there, great. If you only go there, fine, no problem. Start whichever side you want. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, good job. 9, and 10. Excellent, very good. Okay.
Stop with that for a second.
All right, so, let's do this. Arms up, point your fingers at the ceiling, and circle. And every time you circle, it's going to get bigger. Bigger, funny. There's a funny story about this stretch, but since this is going to be broadcast to school students, I'm not going to tell it. Every time you stretch, it gets bigger and bigger. By the way, this time it's going to get smaller and smaller. I don't know if we were doing these stretches last time you were in class. Alright, take your hands from here. Big circles. Like you're drawing circles with your elbows. Now this is very similar. It sort of stretches and loosens up the same muscle groups we just did. But I'm old and have bad, well not bad, but have old shoulders. So we want to make sure they're good and loose. Another way. Good. Down. Go over here to the side. Go over here to the other side. Used to when I did this, it didn't crack or pop or anything. Now it totally does. Good job. Good four. Good straight. Now, look over your left shoulder. Try to push your chin all the way. Put someone has fingers on your chin and trying to push it, but keeping your shoulder in the same spot. Look the other way. Stretch those neck muscles. Head forward. Put your feet together. Hands on your hips. My favorite stretch. Hula stretch. Try to keep your head in one spot. Don't be a ball head.
My back really needed this.
Go the other
It
way.
doesn't, that's why it hurts.
If you've been driving for a long time, this is a must-know stretch. In my opinion. Or you've been sitting at a desk a long time, just anything like that, loosen up the core. Okay, good. Now, one foot stays flat, the foot comes up on the toes, circle the ankle. And the way I do stretches, usually the way I think of it, just for ease of memory, is start at the top, work my way down. And pretty much this is the same stretching pattern I've been doing for 15, 16 years now, something like that. By the way. Switch feet. Then normally after this set, normally I would sit on the ground, we would do some ground stretches. We're not going to do that tonight. By the way. Stop. Oh, I forgot one. Chin feet. Big circle. If you ever take an Aikido class, we'll do the back and forth, but I prefer the circle. It's more in range. All right. let's be careful on this one. We're going to do one called a dynamic stretch. So whatever direction you want to, we're not going to hurt anybody or kick anybody or fall down. Find you a good spot. And I'm going to turn this way for the camera view. So put my right foot out. Hands up for training sake. Nobody kick the camera. Take your back foot, keep it straight. Do not bend the knees, keep the leg locked. It's going to come up and then down. And every time we count, we're going to get bigger. So fall.
I'm not in that bad shape.
Ready? 1, 2, a little bit higher each time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
My legs don't go that high.
Go as high as you can go. Don't worry about how high I can go, or Randy can go, or Chris can go. Those two have been doing yoga for years. Alright, so ready? Go here. So start low, a little bit higher each time. Even if it's just a half inch higher, that's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing. So this time I'll be standing here and we're going to go to the side. So ideally it'd be almost like a side kick. You look a bit out, feet pointed that way. So like that. Okay? A little bit. If you can only go to there, great. You only go there. Fine, no problem. Start whichever side you want. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and yeah. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, good job. 9, and 10. Excellent, very good. Okay.
Stop it there for a second.
As soon as I get this recorded. Oh, we're recording. Sweet. Alright, so let's do this. So, we're going to start with our dragon stance. In traditional Chinese, it's your Xing Yi stance, or it's also called San Yi. San is three body, 3 points, 3 positions, however you want to think of it. The translation is a little bit loose. So what we're going to do is everybody just stand up straight. Take your right foot, step it out a little bit. This is not a very deep stance. It's not crazy like a horse stance, although we will do that. Take your back foot, point it to the corner, or as they would say in Clay County, catty corner. Front foot slightly off. So your back hand will come in front of your belly button. So if my right side's forward, my back arm is my leg. Remember something? So 5 hands here. Imagine it almost like this, like it's a level. The level's right below your eyes. Alright? So here. Now, first technique we're going to go to from here is our finger strike. So just real quick, hand comes out. And I don't think I need to tell you where that's going, but we're going to keep it at eye level. So there. Okay, just like that. And when you do this, keep in mind, even though I'm using my fingertips, it could very easily turn into a palm. If, how are you? If I have your stuff on there. So if I'm here, I go for the strike, but maybe he's too close. So, boom, turn it into a palm. And that's okay. So on my count, from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, technical detail. If you turn your hips, you do technically get better power. And that applies for any technique. With this finger strike technique though, you might not want to turn your hips. Because it does sometimes get things away, and you might just want a quick little thrust to run, go to safety, get help, whatever. Okay? Just do that. Alright. Make sense? Alright, so now, here's a real fun one. It's called hook kick. This is kind of a little bit intense. We can do it. So let's go back to our song tick. Now, from here, what we're going to do is take our back leg, which in this case, my case, will be my left leg. We do what's called a rear cross step, almost like a dance move. Sometimes I think it's like a hip hop kind of thing. We'll take it, and step here. All right, you might remember it as sparring technique number 7. Right here, so it comes through, right there, okay? So everybody do that. Let's just practice that. So we're here, step. From here, step. Now when I was younger, I thought this was the most awesome kick ever. But now that I'm older, I don't know that combat applications, self-defense applications actually work with it, but it's really fun. And it is a really good clearing technique. You want someone to get away from you, keep that distance, it works really good for that. So from here, go step. Alright, so everybody got that. That's alright. Okay. So now we're going to move on. So now, step behind, now we're actually going to go into the kick. So shift your weight from your right leg back to your left leg. Then your right leg, goes up straight. And pull. Yep.
Yeah, how he kills carradine and
Alright, so let's try that again. We got our hook kick. We're from here. We step behind. The leg goes up straight, then bends. Yep, just like that. Okay. So again, we're here. Step behind. No, that look good. You're like Joe. Go. Okay. Alright, now here's the crazy one. Switch sides. Now I'm a big believer in fighting strong side forward, but it's good to do it on the other side to keep balance. So here, cross step, rear cross step, leg comes up, and bend. There you go. Let's do that again. Let's start over. Let's reset button. Okay, so left side forward. So put your left towards me. Okay, there you go. Now take your back leg, your right, step behind, up, yeah, and bend. There you go. That's right. That's it. So over here. Again.
Dyslexia here.
It's okay. One more time. Okay, good. Excellent. All right, so that is a hook kick. Regain your balance. So, outside block. So let's do this. Everybody get in a horse stance. It's going to be a high one, that's fine. Put your hands here. Now, we're going to do a Clay County wave. Howdy. Okay, then back. You are sanding the floor. Okay, so it's going to go down in front of your belly button, over in front of your chest, and out.
Right. I thought that was
Yeah. So, here. So, howdy, back. Hello, and back. Hello there. Okay. Hello, howdy. Okay, makes sense? Now let's do it alternating on a count. So go right, left, right, left. And now I'll do it with a count, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, makes sense?
Yeah. I don't know what we do outside block is. Would it be better to do try a shallow wood so it's not as just wide open?
That's a shield block. That depends on your angle. All right, so what you're talking about, for what he's asking is a shield block. So come over here. And it depends on at what point you want to stop the attack. Let's say he's swinging at me. He's got a big jump swing. Do a big jump swing. Like you.
Okay.
Boom. Just like that. Okay? Now, if I'm here, by the time I notice the attack's coming, this block, this outside block that we were just practicing, probably won't help that much. If you look at what happens when he swings his arm, back here he's weak. Like, okay, like swing your arm right there. I can easily stop him, okay? But he has time to build up. So if I try to stop his swing here, I'll go ahead and swing. Okay? It's much harder, especially if he's really trying to put oomph into it. So it gets past a point. If he swings, go ahead, outside block. Very easily I can block him here. But go ahead and swing again. If it's here, I'll do my shield block there because it's too late. I can't really do this effectively at that point. Does that make sense? Now, you could, if you see the punch coming from way off, you could just go ahead and do this anyway. That's your choice. I don't do that in a hand-to-hand sparring match or whatever. But you could. It's fine.
So it's also like bridging gaps and blocking at the same time?
Yes. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. All right, so now what we're going to do is with our partner, come over here for a second. So, she's going to stand there and we'll square it off. So I'm going to swing here and she's going to block, just one arm, outside block. Wait, howdy. So howdy, then we'll go to the other side. Howdy, other side, howdy, just like that. Yeah, just like that. All right, so everybody try that.
I got a question.
A lot of types training, especially in the modern elements. And there are applications, but really we cover that within other things. The stance, San Ti, or as we call it in Silver Dragon mixed Kung Fu, dragon stance. Dragon stance is not a traditional interpretation. It really just, we call it that just to keep with our naming convention, our theme for the Silver Dragon martial arts school back in the day. In my opinion, it's not really a training stance, although you can use it in training. We'll talk about that a little bit. But it's really more of a long distance or long range fighting stance. It's similar to what they call the interview stance in law enforcement. So a good way to think of it, and I'm going to turn this way, starting off, is I'm standing here. Now, if I'm right side forward, or right-handed, I'm going to put my right side forward. So I'll take my left foot, point it to the corner. Now it's not going to go exactly to my left, it's just going to go to the corner. Now, my right foot is going to go forward and slightly to the corner. So if you're looking at your feet positioned from top down, it's maybe something like that. Right? Now, in this position, you're going to take your back hand, whichever is your non-dominant leg, your non-dominant side, that's your back. So it goes in front of your belly button. The other hand goes here. Right underneath your eye level, like you're looking through a sight of some sort. We're here. Now, this is a long range, long distance stance. So if someone was right up on top of you in the face and grappling and maybe short distance striking range, you wouldn't want to be in the stance. This would be at the beginning of a combat situation or a self-defense situation. They're further out. You've got a little bit of time. This gives you your time to get ready. Now, if it's a quick sort of ambush attack or something like that, you probably won't be able to get into the stance, and I wouldn't really recommend it. But here, you've got that position. Now from there, you can easily change to other stances. You can go to your fortress very easily. You can go to your tower very easily. You can go to your shield very easily. If you want to do some training with this, practice your stepping. We could do one single step forward. Or we could do a double step from there, easily. You switch your stance when you do that double step. So that is dragon stance, or san ti. A more advanced stance is what we call the fortress stance, although I'm sure nobody else calls it that. But that's for us, that's just to help us remember. This stance I learned about 15 years ago from Superfoot Bill Wallace at one of the training seminars. So it's going to be just like a horse stance. But instead of us thinking of an opponent in front of us this way, the opponent's going to be to our side. So our right hand goes down along our body, left hand goes here. Now you can use an open hand for defense with this left hand, your back hand in this case, since our opponent's over there, or you can use a closed fist. I think when I was taught this, it was a closed fist next to the head for guarding. You can do it here too. Either one is fine in my opinion. I've tried both. I think both work in different situations. Here. Now you do want a horse stance, but you don't have to worry about going super low. Just get to where you're comfortable and you're able to move your feet. You're able to spread out, right? The big sort of bonus to this stance is really the enemy only has one place to attack that's open, unless you consider your arm a target. That's your head. Some might consider that a drawback, but the way it was explained to me was, since you know they can only hit to your head, you can really work and focus on dodging and moving with that head. This is pretty good for kicks, pretty good for closing the distance. You do have to worry about stability. Your legs are pretty far apart here. So if you think stability is going to be an issue, I wouldn't recommend it. It is good though. I have even done it in armored combat. It works decent. And that is a fortress stance. Basic techniques for modern metal element. So we've got our form for a modern metal element, but also we need to worry about technique. So the basic technique for blocking is called an outside block. So we can start in our horse stance, hands here. I know usually I said don't do this, but in this case a little bit different. Hands here, and we're going to outside block. This way, then back. This way, and back. Think of it, it comes in across the middle of your body. That's why I like these buttons. It shows my center, the middle. Over to the other opposite arm, up and out, then back. Up, out, back, up, out, back, out, back, out, and back, out, and back. We call that an outside block because moves that go and end, moving towards the middle of your body, towards my buttons here, that's an inside move. If it goes away from that, that's an outside move, right? So this would be an inside block, that's an outside block. So here, 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 that's your outside block. Now, one of the big moves we do in the metal element form is the finger strike. That goes about eye level here. We're going to do it from our dragon stance. Finger strike. Right there. You can put your fingers out if you're going more for this area. Put your fingers together if you're going more for this area. Power is not important on this one. Speed and accuracy, like actually hitting your target, that's the really important thing on this move. Right there. Sometimes we will turn our hips just to get better range. You don't have to though, it could be a quick move. All right. Our hook kick, that's a big one in metal element. So we're here, we step behind, let it come up, and hook. up, and hook. We're doing our rear cross step, so this leg steps behind, then we shift all of our weight to that leg, come up, hook. Behind, up, hook. Behind, up, hook. It's really good for covering distance. Now also, as far as our basics go, we have our foot stomp. That's pretty simple technique, but it's very important. Now when you do a foot stomp, don't just think of it like you're slapping your foot. Think of it like you're pushing. You're pushing your foot, but we're going to push it down. Now if you do this on a person, the target you want is the top of the foot, right here. Alright? But if you're really serious in a self-defense situation, try not to put your foot flat or straight out, turn it. So that way there's a better chance you're going to hit somewhere on their foot. Right? Another basic technique, or a technique that we have in Metal Element Modern, is that we transition stances, right? We go from a fortress to a dragon. Now, the big thing about that, what you'll see is my feet and my legs really change position. I'm a fairly wide horse stance here, in a fortress stance. Then this back foot has to kind of turn the foot, point it this way, move the foot up, and then the hand that was here has to go down, and the hand that was down has to come up. And then I change the position of my body. When I was in fortress, my shoulders were pointing this way. Now in dragon, they're pointing kind of mostly to the corner, but a little bit forward. So from here to here. So that's your basic moves in the form. All these modern forms, modern metal, modern wood, modern water, modern fire, modern earth, they all have basic techniques that you'll be learning along the way. Alright, modern 5 elements metal. We're going to start with metal as the first in the series of 5. It's metal, water, wood, fire, and earth. You'll see the self-defense technique in metal is a foot stomp, which we'll talk about that later, but you'll see it a few times in the form. So, since this is a modern form, after we bow and salute, we'll step out and start with our left foot forward. So we will bow, salute. Now we'll do it from this angle, then we'll switch angles in a little bit. So we're here, we're starting our dragon stance, also known as the San Ti. Alright, now from here we finger strike, then outside block with the right. Now we're going to finger strike with the left, but this is going to be closed fingers. First one, the fingers are spread out, aiming kind of high, top of the head level, not going to say eyes, but you know, eyes. And the second one goes to this area. Okay, so let's do that again. So we bow and salute. I'm going to start right side forward actually. So finger strike, come back to your San Ti, your dragon stance, outside block, finger strike throw, back to San Ti. Now let's start that over, but from a different angle. So now we're looking this way. Same thing, first little section, bow, salute, right side forward, finger strike, outside block, finger strike, here. Now we'll go other side. So bow, salute, right side forward, finger strike, eye level, back, outside block, back, finger strike, throat level. Now when we're practicing this in the form, and we do it segmented, or we do it sequentially. So that's to say, finger strike, then outside block. If you think of this as a real life application, like in a self-defense situation, you could do that at the same time. Matter of fact, in traditional Singyi, that's one of the big moves or techniques, is to do things simultaneously, punch and block at the same time. So that's just for practice, the sequential motion. In real life, same time. So let's do it again. So bow, salute, here, finger strike, outside block, finger strike. Now we're going to add a new move. So from here, your right foot's going to pick up, shift your weight onto your back leg. Up, bear kick. Set it down into a fortress stance. Now you'll see that a lot better from a different angle. So bow, salute, right side forward, finger strike, outside block, finger strike throat level. Right leg picks up, shift your weight, bear kick, bring it in, step it down, now we're in our fortress. Now same thing from the other side. Bow, salute, right side forward, finger strike, outside block, finger strike, bear kick. Some schools call that a mule kick. Fortress, here. So when we're doing that, make sure that you flow from one move to the other. Try not to stall in between them once you get the motions down. So bow, salute, here. Finger strike, outside block, finger strike, bear kick, fortress. Now from here we're going to add a new move. So I'm going to take my right foot and do a rear cross step. And as I do that, my left foot is going to come up. I'm going to put my weight on my back leg. So this is going to be our hook kick that we'll go over in the techniques, or have gone over in the techniques. Come up and bend. Step back down in a fortress. So if you see that from a different angle, finger strike, outside block, finger strike, bear kick, fortress, foot kick, fortress. Now again, from the other angle. Oh, this other angle. Here. Finger strike, eye level, outside block, finger strike throat, pull it in, bear kick, fortress, step behind. See? And as you do that, then just raise up and bend and land. All right? Now, from there, we're going to add in the foot stomp. We will cover this more in the self-defense sections, but this is kind of just a little practice, or a little way to put it into your routine to practice. Bow, salute, here, finger strike, outside block, finger strike, bear kick, fortress, hook kick, stomp, back foot. And by back foot, we mean whichever way you're facing, that leg is forward foot or front foot. The other leg is back foot. So stomp with that one, then stomp with the forward foot. Then switch from your fortress back to your dragon. And that ends the form. All right, now let's do that again from another angle. So we bow, salute, outside forward, finger strike, outside block, finger strike, bear kick, set it down, we're in fortress, hook kick, stomp, stomp, from fortress to dragon stance. Other angle. I don't know why I keep facing that way when I say other angle, but I totally am. So bow, salute, here, finger strike, outside block, finger strike, bear kick, land in our fortress, hook kick, stomp, stomp, go from there to your dragon stance. It's okay to adjust your foot if needed. And I actually not only bring it in, I'll turn the orientation of it. So now it's pointing that way, then turn it here, okay? So let's do that one more time from this angle, the entire form. Okay. Salute, outside forward, finger strike, outside block, finger strike, bear kick, hook kick, stomp, stomp, go from fortress to dragon stance. Now, one last time
this time without instruction. So if you were following along at home, see if you can do it without trying to listen to any instructions. Just do it in your own flow. And salute. That is first of 5 elements modern. Although it is in a circle, so who knows where it begins and ends, but that's what I choose to call first. The ball. Forward view. Breathe in. Breathe out. Side view.